5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Hi, Renaud.
Hello.
We already said hi off camera, but we can say hi again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. And I have to say, fastest comment award goes to Adam Ciccoletti, who commented like 5 minutes ago already saying hi. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
And hello, Ioana. Ioana says looking forward to the show.
Awesome.
She was great last week. It was really fun having her on. Everyone who is listening, let me know if there's any like audio level issues as usual. I could be too loud or Renaud could be too loud. Just let us know. This is the third episode of the second season I've done of these little interviews and concerts. I'm really excited to have Renaud Côté-Giguère here today. It's going to be fun.
Well done.
Thanks. Well, I mean, well done to all the guests. You guys are the ones who are playing and stuff and, sharing your projects. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we haven't actually met before tonight, so this is kind of like cool because a lot of the people I have on I already know. And so it's nice. I mean, I kind of knew about you, but like it's nice to meet people too this way. So
Great.
yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Can you tell people a little bit about what you do, sort of in a nutshell?
Yes, definitely. I'm a guitarist. I play with the Canadian Guitar Quartet, and I've been arranging a lot for us and composing for us too. I think composition is a big part of what I do. I also arrange a lot, and I've studied with many teachers, as we all did,
Yeah.
and I've had the chance to go to San Francisco to study for 2 years, where I spent some time with Sergio Assad and studied a bit of composition with him there, although it was mostly just talking.
Yeah.
Most of his lessons are just talking about compositions.
Yeah, I mean, that's useful, though. I mean, like, I think when I listened to some of the clips, some of the videos you sent me of your music, it reminded me a bit of his music, too, in some ways. Just some of the textures.
Well, that's very flattering. I'll take that.
Yeah, and I don't mean it as, like, it sounds derivative. I just mean it sounds like you have some of the, like, the way he uses texture is, like, seeped in clearly, so.
Oh, it's definitely an influence, like a straight influence.
Yeah, I guess if you study with someone, it's hard to avoid their influence.
Yeah.
Cool. So, okay, that's kind of you in a nutshell. And we're going to listen to some of your compositions and arrangements, actually, later. But first, you're going to play some Bach for us, right?
Yes, I am going to start with the Prelude from the second lute suite, the BW V997.
Cool. I never played this one.
No?
When did you learn this, and why did you learn this one?
I learned it in school during my master's because I liked it. To me, this Prelude is like I feel like it's the saddest prelude that Bach ever wrote. It's just got so much profound sadness to it. I don't know why, but I hear it that way.
Yeah. All the ascending lines sound super like I don't know, almost morose,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Cool. Okay, so let's listen to some Bach Prelude before we get to your music a bit later. I'm just gonna shut off my mic. Beautiful. Very nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
It's always hard to play Bach for other people, especially I would imagine on a live stream.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I haven't. I'm realizing I haven't performed in such a long time.
Right, and live streaming is a completely different feeling, also. So.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Well, you seem very calm for all that, which is good.
That's very kind of you to say.
Yeah, it sounds lovely. I've never played that, but now I want to play it. Man, it looks like a fun, actually, prelude to play. Also.
Oh yeah, it's great, and the bass line is so much fun, and it is kind of hard, but it's nothing compared to the fugue that follows that one.
Right. Yeah. I played the Prelude, Fugue, and Allegro in my my first masters, because I'm doing my second now. But the first masters at UBC, I played that, and man, that prelude, it can be so like zen, and like you can be so expressive, and then you get to the fugue and you're like, oh god. Then by the time you're at the Allegro, you're just like exhausted.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah, that's the thing about Bach, is like if you play multiple movements, it can be So you talked a bit about studying in San Francisco, but what else? What are your projects now? When did you finish in San Francisco?
Oh, that was like in 2013, I think.
Oh, okay, cool. So a little while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I did a doctorate at University of Montreal.
Oh, cool. Okay, who did you study with there?
Peter McCutcheon.
Okay, cool, nice. So how long was the doctorate then? 5 years or?
3 years. It's really a small program. You basically have to do 3 recitals and then like quite a small paper. It's a DMA. It's not like this
right. Okay. Aren't some DMAs that long, or no? Am I just wrong? I might just be wrong. I haven't done a DMA, so I mean Ioana says, nice phrasing, love this work, I recorded on my CD. I would love to hear that, Ioana. What CD is that, if you don't mind writing in the comments?
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear that too.
Do you have a whole CD of Bach or something? Is it on Spotify? Maybe people can find it. And Pablo Villafuerte, who's a former guest on the show, said, getting to know so many good players here. Thanks, Michael, for being the letterman we need right now. You're welcome.
Right.
I'm here to expose everybody to all the best players.
The letterman.
Yeah. David Letterman / Joe Rogan of classical guitar, I guess. Just kidding. Let's hope not. Anyhow. Cool. Okay, so you finished in San Francisco then. And did you just study with Sergio when you were there? From what I understand, you can kind of study with all the teachers when you're there, no?
Yeah, I spent a year with David Tannenbaum, and then
cool.
a year with Sergio Assad.
Okay. But like friends of mine who went there said you can kind of like take lessons with other people too. Is that possible?
Yeah, you can do that, but you do have like your main teacher.
Right. Yeah. Of course, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But what a faculty, man. That's cool. I kind of wish I had gone there a little bit when I got accepted, but too expensive.
Yeah, it's
Um,
kind of crazy.
yeah, it's a little nuts. But I feel like it was a bit of a missed opportunity. That just because, I mean, when I got accepted there, Judicael wasn't there yet. It was Mark Teicholz who was supposed to be my main teacher, David,
He's
Sergio.
such a good performer and an awesome teacher.
Yeah, Mark is amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like he's on another level. Like as a teacher and as a performer, like
Yeah, and he just asks questions a lot. So
yeah,
you end up like you're playing and he's like, "Oh, maybe you should do that. Do you think so?" Or like,
yeah,
could
yeah,
that be an option? And then you get out of the lesson, you're kind of all
yeah.
messed up in.
Yeah, I met him at the first guitar festival I went to was in Calgary. They have this little festival called Classical Guitar Fest West,
Yeah,
which is great. And they brought him, and I think it was like my first time being exposed to kind of like international players coming into the city.
yeah,
And yeah, he like I don't know, his classes were just amazing in that way. Like he just makes you question everything, which is really good.
yeah, yeah. And then afterwards, you're thinking about your piece completely differently. You're questioning everything about the piece. It's great.
Which I think makes you a better like person when it comes to practicing and learning, right? Like you I think
Yeah,
the more questions you ask and the more you challenge your own assumptions as a player, the better it is when you're learning a piece. Maybe not perfecting it for performance, but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Definitely.
Oh, Joanna says the CD is Guitar Masterpieces from Bach to Barrios. It is on Spotify. Okay, I will check that out later.
Yeah, I'll listen to that too.
That sounds cool. Okay, so then you came back and when did you join the Canadian Guitar Quartet?
That was pretty much the year I came back, or the year after. I think it was 2014.
Okay, cool. Because that group has
Yeah.
existed for a long time.
Oh yes, yes it did. Yeah, and often they will present us and say like, "Oh, this group has been playing since 1999," and I'm like, "Yes, I was 9 years old and performing throughout."
Yeah.
So no, I was not in the first generation of this group,
Yeah.
but I'm in the second generation.
It's like one of those rock bands, it's been around for a long time and just keeps changing members and eventually
Yeah, I try not to see it too much that way because I don't really like these rock bands that do that.
Okay. But
Yeah,
the
we're
the
trying to
diff-
see it.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
the difference is like in the rock bands, you kind of it kind of ruins it sometimes because they're the ones always writing the music, right? And of course,
Yeah,
you write music that the quartet plays, but it's not this. I don't think it's quite the same in the sense that like if the membership changes and the artistic
yeah,
like way of playing changes, it's not really like ruining the like style or whatever of the I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I wouldn't
No,
see
I
it as
agree.
the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm saying more like I'm trying to see it just like a bit more like an orchestra. You don't really like
Yeah.
care who's if the musicians are changing or something.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
take for granted that it's not the same ones that
Yeah.
started the band.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just hard for a quartet to remain the exact same members for that long. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not going to
yeah,
happen. People's lives change and
yeah.
yeah. Anyhow, okay, cool. So you've been playing with them for like almost, well, I guess like 5-6 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Nice. And you teach in Montreal. Do you publish a lot of your works through? Where do you publish your music?
At Production Does.
Okay, cool.
So the most of my compositions are published there. Some pieces they can't publish because of like royalty rights.
Right.
Like some of my arrangements or some even when it's inspired by something like I'm gonna play a bit of the later a little bit of the lithium variations that I did.
Right, but it's using material from Nirvana, so.
Yeah. So they're scared of Courtney Love.
Interesting. Courtney Love ruining the classical guitar publication industry.
Yeah, maybe they're right to be scared. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, sorry, I should have mentioned this as soon as you were done playing, but to everybody who's watching, me and Renaud agreed, instead of the usual donation link for the artist or the stream, we put a charity in the description, like I did last week, which is Campaign Zero, which is working to end racially targeted police violence in America. So we're just encouraging people to check that out. If you want to give anything, give it to them, and the work they're doing, just because of current events and such. But okay, so you publish your works through DAWs, and you write for the quartet. Do you guys play a lot of your works in your concerts?
Usually it's one piece for our whole concert.
Okay.
So each time we have a new program, every like 3 or 4 years, we'll like change entirely our pieces, and then I'll write a new piece. So far, I've written 2 pieces for us, 2 like 10 to 12 minutes pieces.
Cool.
There's Filles de Cuivre, and then there's Empty Houses.
Nice, which we're gonna hear later.
Yeah. We haven't recorded, we haven't published Empty Houses yet, or recorded. It's recorded, but it's not gonna be an album yet.
Okay.
Maybe soon, but not yet. As for Filles de Cuivre, it's published it's in our last CD called Mappa Mundi, where that piece is recorded. It's on it.
Cool. Nice. I'm curious, you say you change your program every 3 or 4 years. Do you change it gradually and then it sort of resets by that point, or is it like a hard reset at that point?
No, it's gradual.
Okay.
It's gradual. And because we perform from memory,
yeah,
it makes it just a little longer to like change the pieces, because we have to learn them
by heart
from memory. So it's a lot more work, and I guess that's why it takes more time for us to like change our whole.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't think like there's probably not very many solo performers who play an entirely different program every single year. Like you might change a few things, but most people
Except
recycle.
When you're a student.
Yeah, except when you're a student, right? I mean, that's honestly what I'm so excited about. I'm doing my final recital video for my like final year of my second master's, and I don't think there's going to be a third. I highly doubt it. The second one was kind of special circumstances, but like, yeah, I'm just excited to not have to go through the like reinventing myself every year thing, because it's getting a bit old, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just hard to age with pieces, and like, I mean, I still do. I mean, of course, when I play in competitions now, I play stuff that I used to play. Like, I don't play, some new things, but like, you kind of have your like war horses, right? But I mean, it's just, I don't like this whole like, I don't know. It's hard not to play pieces for a long time, because you have to mature with them, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right.
I like playing from memory in chamber music context, though. I mean, sometimes in my duo with my fiance, we memorize some things, and it's always better, I feel like, when we do,
Yeah, I think it's even more important than when you're playing solo, because the energy and the eye contacts you're giving to the other musicians is more effective. And when you're alone, I mean, you don't necessarily need that contact with the other person. So like if you're reading, of course, like it's not as good as a good like strong memorized performance, but I think it's even more important when you're playing in an ensemble, like so in a small ensemble such as a duo, trio, or quartet. I'm really a fan of the memory thing. Yeah,
it's really handy. I mean, of course, it's not always possible depending on the circumstance. In a dedicated, in a dedicated group that you're a part of, that you like tour with, play with all the time, it makes sense. But like when you just pick up a rep with someone, it's like
Yeah, it's not like essential to a good performance. It's just like
helpful.
Really helpful.
Useful. Yeah, cool. And you teach privately at home, or do you have like a job?
Yeah, I do. I teach privately at home. I also teach at a cégep in Trois-Rivières.
Cool.
Which is a bit further near Quebec, towards Quebec. So I teach at the cégep there. I have very few students.
Okay. But, at least you more time to do your other projects, I mean.
Yeah. And I teach kids a lot, and I have many private students.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Nice. Ioana says, love to hear chamber music played from memory. I have no choice, but it works so well when everyone knows it, and it is free score. Yes, that's true. I suppose it's a little, you have one option, I guess, Ioana. But I mean, it's just better when you memorize, like,
Yeah, well, it's awesome to play from memory. So she's lucky in a sense that she is always performing at.
It's true, from memory, yeah.
Great,
And from muscle memory, she was showing me last week how she does harmonics, and I was like, I can't believe that that's actually possible, because I have a hard time with harmonics and I can see the string. So like,
yeah, that was very impressive.
Yeah, it's cool. That's awesome. Cool. Okay, well, I'm going to ask you my gotcha question, which I ask everybody, Renaud.
Oh no.
Have you watched enough of the show to know what's coming?
I think so.
How do you define classical guitar?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's one of the instruments where you have the most control over timbre with your hands, like
Okay.
on a contact of like literally holding the strings and controlling the timbre that way. So that's what I love the most about classical guitar, and I think that's what the one thing that kind of makes it very unique. And because of the nails and like all the possible attacks we have, I think very few instruments have that kind of control over timbre.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, but what sets that apart then from steels, like finger style guitar? Is it just the physical instrument you play, or is it the style of music, or?
Yeah, I guess historically, classical guitars have been like uh, messing with timbre a bit more with their right hand, at least from my experience. Or
Okay,
I
then
don't know.
steel string players, you mean like more so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the palette of the tone is like, I don't know. I don't want to compare. I'm sure like there's thousands of like steel string that are going mad right now.
Yeah,
They're,
yeah. You've
they're
triggered
like,
all the
no.
steel string players, yeah.
Yeah, and they'll send me like plenty of videos of like super talented guys like doing this. I'm sure it's a they. Yeah, I don't think it. What I said makes it different than like electric or steel string, but
Yeah.
it makes it unique.
Yeah. Oh, Ioana's saying, I was saved from that hard question on my show, lol. I think I forgot to ask you, Ioana. I feel really bad, but I guess she's happy that she didn't have to answer it.
Well, she should come up with an answer so
Yeah.
I can just read it.
Yeah, just write an essay in the comments for Renaud, and then he can read it
Yeah.
uh, as his answer. Uh, cool. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think I agree with you. I mean, I'm not sure that defines the instrument well enough for the average person, but
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I love the most about classical guitar. I mean, that's the reason I sort of fell in love with it for sure.
Yeah.
When I discovered to play, because I didn't start playing. Well, I didn't start playing guitar till I was an adult, and I didn't start classical guitar immediately. But when I started trying it, I was like, wow, just really amazed at the control over sound.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was the first classical guitar concert I went to was either Dale Kavanagh or Toma Villito. I think it was Toma Villito though, where I saw him playing, and I was just like totally blown away.
Yeah.
Just like, because I'd never seen, other than like a few classical guitar students in my city, I'd never seen like someone at that level, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
playing. It was, yeah.
Yeah, to me, I discovered classical guitar through my first teacher was a composer, and his name was Maxime McKinley,
Okay.
and he was also a classical guitarist, but he switched to composition while he was studying. And right from there, like he saw that like I had a bit more control with my right hand than like the average electric guitar player. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like really into classical guitar. So he said, just maybe you should go with that,
Hmm.
and then
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think, but even with electric guitar, like there is some control you have over color, but I just don't think that it's like taught in other traditions of guitar so much. Like with my students who play other types of guitars, I still try to get them to explore color, and they're always
yeah, yeah,
amazed.
that's what
Like,
I was trying to express. Yeah,
right, yeah, but like they're always like, "Whoa, you can do that," like no one ever told them that the guitar has different colors. It's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I guess for electric, they have so much control with the pedals
True.
that like they're basically made to like control tone. So of course they play a lot with like where they attack and everything, but we also have like many points of attack. Like I know like a
Mm,
plectrum has many too, but like for us, like a very specific point on your hand, if you just move your right hand, your
hmm.
right finger, like it'll affect the tone so much that
That's true. Yeah, that's very, very true. Um, Yeah. Plus we have, well, I mean, electric guitar, they have slurs also. But if you're just comparing to other instruments, we have cross string stuff. We have slurs. We have all that
Yeah.
stuff that
Let's
affects.
not compare. We're gonna
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah. Ioana gave us an answer. She says, I think that the only way I can add some definition would be to talk about what it is not jazz or not only, not pop or folk, not flamenco, etc. Tricky. Yeah, it is tricky. I mean, the problem is if you talk about what it's not, you can always find exceptions. I mean,
Yeah. And then I'm gonna play some music that sounds a bit like jazz.
yeah, exactly. So, and sometimes classical guitar, quote unquote, composers sound like pop music or folk music or jazz
Yeah,
music,
absolutely.
depending what they're writing. I mean, some of the DN compositions is like, is it jazz? Is it classical? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess because it's written down on a sheet of paper and supposed to be performed the way the composer conceived of it, it's classical.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that means, I don't know. Yeah. Anyhow, okay, let's move on and play our favorite game on this show. Are you ready?
Oh no!
We're gonna do the listening test.
All right.
So for everybody watching, I'm gonna play some tracks for Renaud and all of you also, and you can guess the composer, the piece, or the player. So there's 3 points.
Okay.
3 points
Okay.
per piece, and don't watch the comments because people will be guessing and they don't want to spoil it.
Okay. Yes.
But
Yeah.
you can ask for help on one piece.
Okay.
Don't forget. A lot of people forget the lifeline. Like half my guests forget the lifeline, so don't forget it. If you're
I
really
won't.
stumped,
I won't forget.
you're gonna need it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I've tried to separate them into like beginner, intermediate, and advanced categories, but I don't know. We'll see if it's kind of hard to tell, like, because you never know sort of what people know, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I try to tailor it to each player of the game. To be honest, like I'm not going to have the same difficulty for the same type of stuff for each person in each category, you know. Okay, so I'm going to play a little clip and then you can try and guess, and I'll give you some hints too.
Okay.
Okay, clip number 1. Do you want to hear a later section?
Yes. Please.
I'll play some more later.
Is that the quatre pièces?
No, it's not. I'll give you a hint. It is a Canadian composer. Wait, I'll play another section that might be.
Oh, is that the Renaud?
Yes, the Heitu.
The Jacques Heitu?
Jacques Heitu.
Yes.
Which
that
Heitu
is
piece?
Okay, it's the suite.
Yes, the suite. Yeah.
And that movement.
You don't have to get the movement. If you get the suite, it's enough, but you can try for the.
Is it the Rêverie?
It's the Rêverie. Yes, correct. Rêverie.
All right.
I picked the trickiest one because I thought Heitu would be too easy for you, so.
Yeah, no, and I've played this. Like, this is silly.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this movement is so like spacey that it's easy to get lost if you come in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Who's the player?
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
It's a French Canadian player.
Is it Jérôme Ducharme?
Yeah, it's Renaud Ducharme.
I know he recorded this.
Yeah. Well, it's the beginner category. You know, I can't make it too hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still happy about those points.
Yeah, exactly. Jacques Heitu, Rêverie, Jérôme Ducharme. Okay, number 2. Oh, and Alexander Dunn got it right. Heitu. I'm not surprised. When Alex comes on the show, I'm gonna have to like make this listening test so hard. Okay. Next one. Any idea?
No. Can you play it again?
Yes, I'll place a later section.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I know. God.
Do you want a hint?
Is it a Brower?
It's Brower, yes, correct. Which piece though?
Uh,
Alex and Jose in the comments have already got the piece and the composer. But can you guys get the player? That's the question.
Huh. Is it in the Decameron?
No, the Black Decameron, but it's no, it's before then. It was before then in his out, but it's an earlier piece. It's not in the Black Decameron.
I don't think I.
Okay, it's El Ojo de la Danza.
Yeah.
And the player, I'll give you a hint, is Uruguayan player. I think this player has a connection to Montreal too, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah. Huh.
It's not John Williams, Jose.
I'm not sure. I know. Yeah.
Do you want to hazard a guess? No. It's Alvaro Pieri.
Yeah. I should have known that.
Yeah, it's okay.
He did in Montreal at UQAM for a while.
Okay, that's right. I thought so. I like had this vague memory of him teaching somewhere there, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Never had a lesson, but apparently he's like really amazing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Yeah, it's an older CD too. This must be from like a while ago. He has like really long hair and stuff in the picture. Okay, so you got 1 out of 3 on that one. You got 3 out of 3 on the first one though, so that's good. Okay, last beginner one. I'm not gonna play the beginning because it'll be a bit too easy. I'll do.
Okay.
Okay, and maybe a later section.
Yeah.
And maybe
God.
a later section.
I'm ashamed. Yes.
Do you know?
This is the Yobe, the variations on a theme by Soar.
Yes, correct. Which is actually the Folia. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
It's actually the Folia, but yeah, you're right. It's the Variations on Soar. I just think it's funny that the piece is called Variations on a Theme by Soar because the theme is actually the Folia, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, you got the correct. It's the right piece. Yobe's Variations. Now, who's the player? Do you want a hint?
Just can you play it again, just short?
I'll play the beginning too.
Yeah.
Or the faster section, maybe. This section. It's a French. It's a French player.
Oh, he's a French player.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is it Judical Perrois?
No.
Huh.
One of his. Oh no, is it one of his students? No. It's not Rovshan Alexander. Done. Oh, Jose has the player. Correct.
Yeah, it's so hard when you put French players because
Yeah.
it's not real.
There's so many of them. Yeah, I know.
It doesn't really help anything.
Mark Hertz says, "Hey guys, hey Mark, nice to see you."
Hey Mark, I'd say it's probably I don't know Thomas Villotto.
Correct, Thomas Villotto. Good. Yes, very nice.
Random guess.
Yeah, that like very like I think Thomas is amazing because he plays like a smallman, but he has like this very delicate sound, you know.
Yeah, but it does sound like a Smallman. You're right.
It does sound like Smallman, but it's not like punchy. I don't know. It's just it's very different than many people who play Smallman, I think. Like
Yeah.
Okay, so in the beginner category, you got 7 out of 9. Nice. Not bad, man. Okay, intermediate category.
All right.
Any idea?
I don't know this piece.
Can you guess the composer at least? Alex Dunn's got it. I knew you would get it, Alex. Because I know that your students play this music. I can give you a hint. It's an Italian composer.
Okay. Man. I think you can go ahead and say I really don't.
It's one of the Caprichos de Goya by Casanova Tedesco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the player is a Croatian player who's recorded these Caprichos.
Huh. How many Croatian players do I know?
Oh, sorry. Is he Croatian? No, he's not Croatian. I'm just crazy. Or is he? Wait 1 second. This is a terrible brain fart. I should know this.
Is it Marcin-Dela?
It's not Marcin-Dela, but he's Polish. Marcin-Dela is Polish. Yeah, it is a Croatian player. Okay, I was right. Whew. Whew. Yes, Alex, you got the player also. Similar hair to Judicael. If that helps.
Similar hair to Judica. Yeah, I don't know.
It's Zoran Dukic.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course.
It's okay. There's a lot of pressure in it being on the receiving end of this quiz. I know.
Yeah, my brain's not functioning quite well.
Because one of our guests, Amy Brandon. I don't know if you know her, but she she quizzed me instead of me quizzing her, and I was like,
oh well, that's smart. I should have done that.
Yeah, you should have done that exactly. No, not everybody gets that option. I gave Amy that option especially. Okay, right. Next intermediate piece. Another Canadian composer?
Another Canadian composer? Is that one of Patrick's pieces?
Yes, Patrick Roux.
Patrick Roux.
Yes.
And that one, is it...
You get a few guesses because he writes a lot of music.
Yeah, and is it
it's on his new CD.
Yeah, is it L'Ombre... Oh my god, I should get the CD. I think I have it here.
The new CD is Les Sciences Panoramiques. Also published through DAWs.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did CDs. That's cool.
I don't think I know the title. I'm sorry.
It's La Valle de Luna.
Yes, and is the player himself?
Yes, it's Patrick himself playing. Yeah. I heard he recorded the CD all himself too. Is that true? Do you know?
Yeah, he did it from his basement, I think.
Ah, cool. It sounds great.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. I mean, you don't have to pay like rental fees for the church. You don't have to pay like.
Exactly. I've been doing that myself, trying to record like all my compositions. Mm-hmm. And I use like this whole like COVID confinement to do that.
Yeah. And
right now I have like all the recordings, and I think I'll send it to like some engineer to try and like make some magic out of it.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, I want to... Yeah. I mean, I have been upgrading my equipment slowly, especially during this situation. And I've been learning. I got some new like software. We should talk about this later. We have to do the quiz.
But... Yeah, definitely.
But okay, 2 out of 3 for Patrick Roux. Next one. Here we go. I'll play a later section.
There's like
Sorry?
Is it like a mano a mano or something?
No, it's not the Limburg.
Okay.
No, and it's not Barrio Ioana. I'm surprised nobody's got this yet. I thought these pieces were really famous. Maybe just more people in Europe play them. I don't know. The composer is Italian.
Okay. I don't think it's Tedesco.
No, it's not. Mark has got it. Mark Hertz has got it. Good job, Mark. I knew you'd get it.
Huh.
The composer is Nuccio D'Angelo.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this guy. Yeah.
And the pieces, any idea? Or should I just tell you?
Yeah, you can go ahead and tell me.
There are these due canzoni Lidie.
Wow.
Alex Dunn says those scordatura pieces. Alex, I hate to break it to you, there are a few pieces that use scordatura. But yes, these pieces have some kind of scordatura. I think it's
nice tuning in them.
I think it's a very similar tuning to Shadow Prism, actually, this Jason Noble piece.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, not important. But do you know the player? It's another French player. I put a lot of French players on the list because I thought it would help. I don't know.
I spent the week trying to differentiate like GFA winners.
Okay.
Like a playlist of GFA winners. I was like,
well, this is a GFA winner.
Huh. Well, if he's French. Well. Is it Raphaël Feuillard?
No, not Raphael.
Is it Judical?
No.
Then I give up.
It's Florian Rousse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like his playing.
Yeah, another former student of Carlos, actually, my teacher. Okay, anyways, Florian Larousse. So that's 0 to 3. Okay, so in the intermediate category, you only got 2 out of 9. I'm sorry, Renaud.
That's okay. I knew it was going to be like that.
It's okay. We're on the advanced now. Maybe you'll have more luck with this one. Okay. Advanced category. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. That's one of Sergio Assad's piece, right?
No, actually.
No?
It's not. But it is from a similar generation to him. This composer is actually not living anymore, but similar generation to Sergio.
Oh, is it Roland?
Yeah, it's Roland Diance. Yeah.
And the piece, you'd have to... Can you keep...
Yeah, I'll play a bit more. Oh, Alex Dunn's got it. And Mark also. This piece is amazing, actually. I really want to play it. Sounds like a blast to play, actually.
Yeah, but I really don't know.
Okay,
I think I might use my lifeline thing and ask.
Okay, well, if you're using the lifeline, then people have already got it for you. It's the Clown Down by Roland Diance. Clown Down. But how about the player? Does anybody know the player? Another French player.
Another French. Can you play it again? Just like
yeah. A more recent French GFA winner. And also, people who are listening can help Renaud here because he's using his lifeline. So if you know the player, guess it. Yes, Gismonti at the Circus, I believe. Mark has it. Mark Hertz. It's Philippe. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Raphael.
Raphael.
Yes, and the last name?
Feuillard, I think.
Feuillard. Okay, my French is so bad.
I'm not sure how his name is pronounced either.
Okay, Feuillard. Okay, anyways.
I think it's Feuillard. Yeah.
So Mark got it for you because you used your lifeline, so he got the player. So yeah, it's Raphael Feuillard. This is not his GFA CD, actually. This is his CD from winning Jose Tomas competition.
Huh.
Yes.
But it sounds good.
Yeah, it's super cool piece. He played this in the GFA when he won the GFA, actually.
Oh yeah.
If you watch I think it's on YouTube. There's the live video of him playing this is just amazing. Like honestly, I think in that performance there were some things in the score, for example, that were not so great. But just the way that he played this piece alone was like enough to just like people went nuts. Like it was so good, you know. It's funny how that can happen sometimes in a competition where like something can be a little bit weaker, but then you just play the shit out of something, you know, and like it just wins the whole audience over. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a great player, anyways. It's like, you know, it's an incredible player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so 3 out of 3 for that, with help from the audience. Oh, I have to. 1 second. I have to bring up this one. In the meantime, okay. Next one. We're almost done here. Don't worry.
My God, I don't know this piece.
Any idea? The composer is English. I'm quite sure.
Is it some like Reginald Smith Brindle?
You're in the right neighborhood, but it's not him. Yeah, this is sort of the right. I think the right sort of milieu. I'll play a bit more. I'm curious if Alex can get this one. But I'll put it this way, you know this player.
Oh, I know the player.
Yeah.
Like personally.
Yes. American player.
Okay. Is it like, I mean, is it like a friend of mine?
An American player who you know?
Well, is this
Ross says, good guess, Ross. It's David Tannenbaum, yeah. The player.
Oh, so is that some Henze?
No, it's not Henze. It's not Henze.
Wait,
Ross Chesson guessed Malcolm Arnold. That's a good guess, but it's not Malcolm Arnold. He's also one of the ones I go to when I want something really weird to throw people off. But it's not Malcolm Arnold.
Is it some Berkeley or something?
It's not Barkley, no.
Barkley.
And Alex Dunn doesn't know either. Oh, Matthew Leon has the piece right.
Oh, yeah. My friend Matt.
Oh, okay. It's got the piece.
Oh, well.
The piece involves a color. I know the title of the piece.
Okay.
It's not Riley Alex Dunn.
My God.
Oh, wait. I should really double check that the composer is English. Jose says play again. I'm going to double check. I'm quite certain, but... Yeah, English. Okay, that's right. Yeah. English composer for sure. Alex says I knew it. Well, did you get it from Matthew's comment? I think so. It's Michael Tippett, and the piece is... Yeah. What's the piece called, Renaud?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It involves the color, the blue guitar. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all good. Okay, so... Well, you got David Tannenbaum at least.
Yeah.
Playing some weird contemporary music, you know.
I hope he's gonna be flattered. The only thing I knew about this recording was his playing.
His playing, yeah, exactly. It's also Matthew says Tannenbaum told us a story at SFCM about how he played this piece on TV. Someone was chewing gum in the audience, and afterwards he found out it was the composer. That's hilarious.
I remember him telling that story.
That's really funny. Okay, last one. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. It's starting. Gotta love these recordings with like all the silence at the beginning.
that's Leo Brouwer because.
It's not Brouwer, actually. You also know this composer.
Oh well, is that Sergio's music?
Yeah, it's one of Sergio's pieces. Yes.
Oh my
But
God,
it's in the advanced category because it's a very new piece. So I'm just checking
yeah.
if you keep up with his output.
Oh, I've seen Thomas Villotto posted a video of a new piece.
It's not one of the ones Thomas plays. Thomas plays a bunch, but it's not one of those. It's the player is an Asian player who I think commissioned and premiered the piece at least. I'm not sure if this player commissioned it.
Okay.
They probably did. It was done for that guitar co-op thing. You know about this?
Yeah. Is it it's a woman, right?
Yeah, it's a female Asian player. Yeah. Oh, and
Yes.
Jose has it. The piece and the.
What's her name? Is it
She's
Meng
amazing.
or
Yeah, Meng Su. Yeah,
Meng Su?
one of Barweko's former students.
Yeah, and is the piece called like Divertimento or something?
No, it's called Sun Wukong's Toccata.
Oh, I was close.
Oh wait, Jose is Sergio Clarice Assad. Was Clarice part of this? It says Sergio Assad on the video. Did she help write it, like Sergio's daughter, or?
That's probable, but I don't know.
I wonder if they collaborated on it. Jose can.
They did an album together recently.
Okay, can you, Jose? Can you confirm if this is like if you put Clarice's name because they worked together on it? Because on the video, on the YouTube, it just says Sergio Assad, so I'm confused. But anyways, cool piece. Oh, he says no. Okay, just yeah. It's just one of Sergio's pieces.
Awesome, yeah. I
Yeah.
need to listen to it more.
Yes, I was like, I'll throw one of Sergio's compositions to him, but like a new one, and see if he gets it. Cool. Okay, so then in that one you got 2 out of 3 because you got Sergio and the player. So in advanced, you actually got 6 out of 9. You did much better than intermediate.
Well, I got help.
This also just shows that I don't know how to do this, like put the game together.
No, I mean I don't listen that much to classical guitar, honestly. It's a shame, but
Oh, okay. Oh, Jose said that was an error of tag in Facebook. Facebook tagging is difficult. It can happen. Okay, cool. Well, let's listen to some of your music now. Speaking about composers.
yeah. Yeah.
You gave me a recording of this lithium variations, right? Do you want to talk?
Yeah. Do you want to start with the recording you have? Or?
Yeah, maybe if that's okay. And then,
absolutely.
But do you want to give people some context about it, like what the piece is about and?
Yes, the piece is in it's like a theme and variations, but there's never actually like a clear theme because we all know the piece Lithium, the song Lithium by Nirvana. So I thought that like I could just do the variations and everyone kind of knows the the song.
Yeah.
So I did 4 variations. And the 4th one is actually the one that's got the most, that's the closest to being a theme. And actually, I think on YouTube it's written as the first one, but that's all messed up in my numbers. But the one we're going to listen to is actually the 4th one.
Cool.
And that one is the last one where you can hear the theme like the most clearly. But throughout the movements or the variations, you can hear like elements of the theme used differently compositionally.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this recording, and then you can talk more about the other variations too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so lithium variation number 4. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Very nice. Mark says, awesome. I heard you play this in Montreal last year. I really like your compositions.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Nice. Cool. Okay. So I actually don't know the song Lithium by Nirvana,
No,
which
you
is
didn't. You
crazy.
didn't recognize the.
No, I mean, well, I kind of missed out on a lot of stuff growing up overseas, so I didn't really like, Nirvana wasn't something I like listened to as a kid and teenager.
Well, definitely something to get into.
Yeah, I mean, of
Uh,
course, I've taught like some Nirvana songs to a few students who wanted to play rock guitar, but like never
yeah,
this one for some reason.
yeah. And
Cool.
I think they're unlike many bands. Like the harmony in Nirvana songs is kind of it's more interesting. I feel it's because he had like he struggled with some chords, so
Yeah.
he kept like playing major chords everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that makes like this like parallel major chords in the harmonic structure, and it creates something completely
Hmm.
new, and it sounds a little bit like a, I don't know, I mean it's a stretch, but there are composers that use this kind of parallel major
Right.
chords like Ravel or
Yeah.
Debussy,
I was
kind
gonna
of.
say. Yeah. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
even Villa-Lobos too sometimes, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Mark is asking what inspires you to compose.
uh it's just it's just something I kind of have to do. uh when I sit down and I play on the guitar, I always end up like improvising a little bit, and then finding something I like, and then just like playing that over and over because I'm enjoying that feeling. And that's pretty much just why I compose. There's not like some bigger, deeper meaning to it. I just like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything that you do in life, right? There, you can't. At some point,
Yeah.
you can't justify it. You just do it because you do. Um,
Yeah, and it feels good to do it. I don't know.
yeah, that's good. Well, the product is great, so I mean, that's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that was the fourth one. Do you want to demonstrate any of the other ones?
Yeah, I'd like to play a bit of the first one, because since you don't know the song, I'll
Yeah,
I'll explain a little bit.
sure. Yeah.
Um, this piece has like the original song has this bass line of going. So what
Cool.
I decided to do is just to play these notes as like whole notes,
Okay.
to just go like. And then add like a complete composition over it.
Cool.
Okay, so I'll just play it.
Cool.
And often in Nirvana's music, you'll hear like this like shift between major and minor of the same key.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using that, a little bit of D minor, a little bit of D major, but there's also the B flat majors also in the
Wow. Okay.
in
Cool.
your writing. So I'm trying to like exploit that a little bit.
Yeah. Awesome. Very nice. Cool.
Thanks.
I like that. It's very it's like, I don't know, groovy but still melancholy. It's cool.
Yeah, so that's the first moving, and it's only using that bass line. Like you won't recognize anything from like, oh well, there might be like a tiny quote of like a bit of the melody, but
Right.
it's like kind of still abstract. And
Mhm.
as we get in the variations, it's getting more and more like from the original one that you recognize it more and more, and you're like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah, a little bit like the Nocturnal.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I play that piece, and it has inspired me a lot in like a composition
Form,
as a
yeah.
composer, as a composer to like end with this very pure and simple theme
Distillation,
that
yeah.
you've been like very, yeah. I like
Yeah,
that idea.
a lot of people I don't think they think that deeply about how composers do that kind of thing. I mean, it's really cool when you can kind of see behind the curtain how that works. I mean, um my friend Nathan Bredesen wrote me a piece this
Yeah,
last year which has like this all these Shostakovich quotes and ideas
yeah.
from different Shostakovich pieces, and then in the last movement he combines them all in this kind of like crazy medley. It's really cool, because he got the idea from a metal band. You know, Between the Buried and Me, this band.
I don't know.
Okay, they're like this prog metal band, and they have this album where they have all these different motifs that come in all these songs, and then the last track combines all of them into like one big intense. So the idea is like kind of like that, but it's just cool how
Yeah,
composers use form to like um, bring the listener through kind of a journey as they listen to the piece. You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't have to play it entirely, but I can play just a bit of the second movement, just because I'm starting to bring the theme in that movement where it's like a.
Okay, yeah,
And so you're starting to recognize that, like,
yeah, yeah.
but it's still like very blurry, and until the very like last movement, you'll like
Really
recognize
hear
the
it.
song.
Yeah,
Oh, this note.
cool, awesome. That's super cool. And the title Lithium Variations is just like cool. Also, you know,
Thanks.
um,
Yeah, yeah, I like it too.
it's a great title. It's cool. Jose Cueto is saying, could you talk a little bit about recording during the game? You started talking about a software, and Renaud talked about recording his compositions. Yeah, sorry, I was just saying in the game I switched software recently to, I don't know what you're using, but I started using DaVinci Resolve for like videos and stuff, which I found really good. What do you use to do your videos?
I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro,
Okay.
and it's very user friendly. It's fun, and I record like the audio on Logic,
Yeah.
and then once that's done, I can just like bring in the audio clip in Adobe Premiere, and there's like an option to just like sync it.
Yeah.
So the computer just like syncs the audio back to where it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
Then I can use like my good audio instead of the audio from the camera that's with my like video file.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Um, Makes sense. Yeah, I was using Adobe Premiere Pro, but I was just like, it crashed so much for me. I don't know if you're finding this, but it was crashing a
So
lot. I don't
no,
know.
so far it's
That's good.
going okay.
I mean, I upgraded my computer recently too, which maybe would have helped, but I also didn't like the pricing model, the like monthly payments and stuff. So I don't know. I switched to DaVinci Resolve and I found it very good.
Oh
Um,
yeah, well I should look into that, but I'm quite happy with
that's
Premiere.
good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's just, some things work better in some things and others. DaVinci Resolve I find more intuitive, um,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know. I think both are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, people disagree about all this stuff all the time. I also don't have a Mac, so I can't use Logic,
Logic. Right.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I've been experimenting with EQs, and instead of using like the built-in EQ of Logic Pro,
hmm
I've like I've started like downloading these like plugins, uh, which is like another EQ. It's called TDR Nova, and you can download it for free uh, on the web. And it's great because you can add some compression to like specific frequencies. I don't know if you
Cool.
understand.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then it also it's like a dynamic EQ, as I've like learned by reading, but I'm not an expert in this. But what it does is like it only like activates when it needs to. I'm not really sure I understand everything
Cool.
about this EQ, but it's more musical than the EQ that just like blocks everything.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I should look
Yeah.
into that. I'm assuming you could plug it into any software. Like I'm assuming Resolve could use it too. I don't know.
Yeah, and if not, you should look into like a dynamic EQ
For the same
plug
software. Yeah, yeah.
for whatever software you're using.
Yeah. One thing I appreciate about Resolve is that I found like control of like reverb, for example, is much more nuanced. You can actually like choose the size of the room and everything. Like they have like a little visual slider that you can like adjust the size of the. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know.
So you're choosing like a cathedral when you're playing in your living room.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you probably don't want it to sound that wet, but like, it's just nice that like on Premiere Pro, I don't know, I just found the parameters on Premiere Pro like a lot more obtuse to tweak for those kind of things. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Well, I always edit my audio like on Logic, not on.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't have Logic, so I was just doing everything in Premiere Pro. Maybe that's also the difference.
Oh, yeah, that might be hard.
I think DaVinci Resolve is pretty like meant to be both audio, video, and it's also actually DaVinci Resolve started as a color correction and like color editing software. So they're like the system for like adjusting color and balance and all that stuff is pretty sophisticated. But yeah, I think that's what it is too. I think Adobe is like meant to be kind of like a suite of different products that work together, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is meant to be all in one kind of, so it sort of works better for.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. And I've been recording with like I like invested like a lot of money in like a good camera.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a 4K, it allows me that like to like zoom in the image and not lose any quality. And I think that's like the main advantage of having a 4K, because like not many people have like a 4K TV, or like it's not like a main thing. But because you can zoom in the image, you can create these like slow zoom in like after production, like in post prod.
Yeah, I've done a bit of that. Like I recorded these videos when I went to Granada. I played like Junto a Generalife, just outside the Generalife, and like did some of these videos. But I was using my iPhone, which has 4K, but I think I used 1080p setting for it, unfortunately. And I did some of that zooming and panning. But yeah, when you get too close in, the quality becomes a bit grainy and.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the advantage of 4K. It's like you'll zoom in, and then if you export in 1080p, it's still gonna be like HD all the time.
Yeah.
Until the double, you get to 200% of like zoom in.
Yeah.
So you can like do a bunch of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can have one angle and still cannibalize it for a bunch of different kind of shots.
Yeah, and it looks like you've hired like a cameraman to just like slowly zoom in.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is the other thing with all this. Like, I'm doing all these takes for my exam because of course, the exam video has to be one take unedited. Makes sense, right? But I'm like for like 2 weeks here, I'm like recording every day or every couple days, like the program. So I'm like, I should just make videos out of this in the end, because like I'm playing really hard, really long pieces, but I'm like I'm getting a good take of every part at least once.
Yeah, well, you should change like the location of your camera.
Oh yeah, I should be doing that.
In the end, you can like make cuts of like.
Yeah. I should do that. Everyone, watch out for that.
Of course, you have a long beard at the last one.
Yeah, exactly. You've got like.
The last section is like.
My hair is different. Like, some of them are pre-quarantine haircut. Some of them are post-quarantine haircut.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that.
Exactly. Although I feel like at the point where the camera angle is changing, people know. So.
Yeah. Unless you believe in magic.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anyone's really judging you at that point for like looking a little different in different takes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Recording is tricky. Unfortunately, like I keep saying this on the show too, but I have the feeling that like even people who are like really quite well known at a young age and stuff, you just can't get away anymore without knowing some of this stuff yourself. Like you don't have to do everything yourself, but it's hard now not to be like a video editor, good at like online marketing, good at social media. Like there's so many things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like René Izquierdo was saying on your stream that like at some point you want to like focus on the one thing. Like what is it that you do?
Yeah.
So you want to practice more. You're doing guitar. You don't want to get like, well, I'm like exactly the opposite. Like I'm doing I'm trying to do a bit of everything, and it's kind of a mess. But I enjoy learning to do these things.
Also, it can be a bit of a mess, but at the same time, it's also a little bit necessary to some degree. Like
yeah.
Especially depending their situation. I mean, yeah, some people like I don't know win the GFA, win a bunch of other competitions, have like a really good agent or something. But even then, like there's not really. It doesn't seem to me that there's necessarily the longevity you need. Like.
Yeah, and
at some point you're going to be doing a lot of promotion yourself. You're going to be doing a lot of like negotiating and administrative stuff yourself. Like you just can't rely on like only playing guitar. I think it's just not possible.
Yeah, and unfortunately it's not as important in our school education. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've had that many like video
editing courses. No. I do have to say in Maastricht, at least they have a course that runs for the entire master's, which is Your Art as a Business, and bachelor students have to do it also. And that's mandatory, and that's been good. I know a lot of places have a similar type thing, but at least that kind of dedicated course makes you do assignments every year where you're like writing out your next project and like showing a business plan for it and showing a promotional plan for it. And no,
that's great. And I think like schools are like getting to the like nowadays they're teaching that stuff a lot more. But like back when I studied, they didn't really tell you what you were gonna do. Like they just taught you how to play guitar, and then you go home and you're like, I can play guitar.
Nobody cares. Ioana says we use Final Cut Pro, got the education pricing. Cool. Nice.
Nice. It's also a really good program.
Really software. But yeah, I mean I think more schools are finally starting to teach that. But that is the thing. I think like people go through their music education not realizing that like 95% of the time, let's say for most graduates, and even for the ones who don't have to do this right away because they have a bunch of other successes that help carry them, at some point you are going to be in charge of your own projects, and
absolutely.
The thing is, you can go a long way having interesting projects that you find ways to collaborate with others through them, and you like build something unique. But unfortunately, a lot of the skills that goes into them and a lot of the time that goes into them is not what you did in the practice room in conservatory.
Yeah, but the thing is, like sometimes it's because you might love music, but you're not necessarily like an entrepreneur, or like you're not necessarily, you don't necessarily have that like
skill set.
The skill set or the interest. You're just you just enjoy playing music and learning music, but it's a skill set that you kind of need to have.
It's also hard because I mean I think I go through different phases. Sometimes I feel like even the playing feels like an obligation when it's certain repertoire or for certain gigs, or in school when you're like, I'm just fucking sick of this program, like at some point the playing becomes an obligation, but at other times, and then sometimes your projects are more interesting, like this stream, sometimes I do the stream and I'm like really, really excited and it's like super exciting. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I have to keep this up, or I have to like, write the show notes or edit the videos or manage the channel. And that can be like a chore, I guess. But it kind of flips, I think, for me sometimes, like what feels like an obligation and what feels like an interesting project,
I see.
Which is probably good. I'm probably lucky that I find sometimes the entrepreneurial stuff interesting or fun.
Yeah, I find it interesting too, but it's not like I didn't go in this, you don't start your music studies thinking about like being an entrepreneur. I don't know. Maybe,
I think you're right. which is unfortunate. Well, not unfortunate, but just like it's problematic for students because when they get out, they realize suddenly that that's what they have to do. And
Yeah, and teaching too, like it's not necessarily for everybody. Like I like teaching. A lot of the guitarists I know like teaching, but if you hate teaching, like what do you do?
yeah, I know. I think that's something they should say to performance majors when they come in is like, do you like teaching at all? Because if not, you should rethink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like honestly, it's a bit, yeah, it's almost a bit disingenuous to call it a performance degree, but I guess that is what we're studying.
No,
Yeah,
but of course, like we all have this like huge career dream of like performing and touring all year long, but
yeah,
that happens for very, very few people. And it's like,
yeah. And even those people have to teach at some point in some way.
yeah, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it's hard for people to not do it at all, I think.
Yeah.
Nearly impossible, especially for guitar. I don't know. Um, Anyhow, yeah. I mean, I'm really lucky that I like teaching too. I did not know when I started studying music if I would enjoy teaching or
Yeah.
not. And then I
Yeah.
started doing it and I was like, "Oh, I like this. That's lucky." You know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Good thing.
yeah,
It's
good.
90% of my week. Or
Yeah, it's like 80% of my income or whatever, or 70.
yeah, yeah,
It depends on the month, but you know, the point is,
yeah.
yeah. And also when the coronavirus hit, you know, I was like, just really lucky that I could still teach online. You know, like I don't know. There's a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
musicians who sort of prioritize more so performance, and it's a lot harder for them. Like I feel really bad for a lot of people. I mean, I did lose money, of course. You know, everybody did. I lost some students also, but the fact that
Yeah.
I could continue online, I felt very lucky, at least in that situation.
Yeah, me too, but I still lost like a lot of students. But
Yeah.
I kept teaching to most of them. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. And also it's a global pandemic. I mean, some people who are already kind of busy and like their life was difficult, it makes sense that they
Yeah.
sort of dropped off, you know, because like,
Yeah, yeah. Some others you feel like you're really helping the parent to like have their kid in front of the computer for
yeah,
a
that's
while.
true. Yeah. Some parents it's like nice. They're just like, go sit in front of the computer for an hour. I can't imagine for people who have kids, it must have been really hard actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
situation. Anyhow. Um, okay, let's quickly do the would you rather questions before we listen to one of your arrangements.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Renaud, would you rather play a concert when you haven't slept for an entire day or you haven't eaten for an entire day?
Oh, I mean, I don't sleep during the day.
No, I mean like for like 24 hours. Like you didn't sleep the night
Okay, for a
before.
full 24 hours.
Yeah, and you have to play
So,
the next evening.
or didn't eat.
All day, yeah, since you woke up.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I think I'd go with no sleep.
Really? Okay, interesting. A lot of
Yeah.
people say that. Is it because you would be not as nervous because you'd just be too tired to be nervous?
I think I would have like for that's a good point. But then I'd get like some adrenaline rush to like
Right.
perform,
Yeah.
and then I'd have energy for like that hour.
And then when you're done, you just be like
Yeah, yeah,
on
exactly.
stage, like right after. Yeah. Nice.
Exactly. So yeah, I definitely no sleep.
Cool. Would you rather play with a chamber partner who can't lead or follow rhythmically or is completely like has no dynamics and articulation ability? Like just like super dead, like flat player.
Yeah, it's good. It's a really good question. It's a very fun one.
Like someone's super interesting, but they can't follow you at all. Or
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because you have to make a choice. Either you're gonna follow rhythmically that person
yeah,
as much as you can by like moving around, or you're just gonna like trying to make up and do like as many dynamics as you can so that
something is happening. Yeah.
sounds a little bit nuanced. So I think I'd say like someone precise and boring.
Okay, cool. Yeah. A lot of people say that because I think it's like more reliable, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
There's less chance for everything to go wrong, basically.
yeah, yeah.
Joanna says
But
if I don't sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, Ioana says if I don't eat, I get even more shaky. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it's better not to sleep.
Yeah. Okay, if you had a gun to your head and you had to choose one of these two options, would you memorize and perform all 6 violin sonatas and partitas in 6 months? Or would you rather be only allowed to play Carcassi etudes for 6 months? Like anytime you picked up the guitar, that's all you could play. It's like Carcassi.
That's a great one. I think I would learn the 6 sonatas.
Okay, and partitas and record them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, in 6 months. Wow, that's impressive.
I would rather do that.
Yeah, that's fair. You'd also become I don't. Yeah, you'd become a better musician because if you had to play only Carcassi, you would end up like not playing very often, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather have uneven tremolo or uneven scales in a concert when you have to use them equally?
I'd say uneven scales.
Okay. How come?
I think tremolo is very obvious when it's uneven
That's
rhythmically.
fair. Yeah.
More obvious than scales. Well,
Right. And a lot of people have bad scales, so it's fine.
yeah, people are used to hearing guitars going.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're
There's
just used to that sound. They're like, oh, that's a guitarist.
Yeah, no, that's a guitarist. Oh
No,
man, this is gonna be like a GIF now from my show. You know, like it's Renaud being like, oh, it's a guitarist. Okay, if you had to learn and prepare in 1 week for a performance, which of these 2 pieces would you choose? Henza Royal Winter Music or the Tedesco Sonata? 1 week. 1 week. 1 week, Renaud.
1 week. I think I'd go with the Tedesco.
Yeah, it's
I've
hard
heard
though.
it more.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's more in my ear. They're
Yeah.
both like really hard.
Yeah. I feel like the Tedesco is more technically challenging, but the Henza just like, man, trying to play through that.
Yeah, and it's got to be memorized.
Well, I said learn and perform. I didn't say
okay.
memorize.
But can you really read like
Henza? Yeah, that's a good point.
like
At,
your
s-
eyes?
yeah, at some point you're just kind of like playing approximate rhythms, I think, you know.
Yeah, I'd choose the Tedesco.
Cool. Nice. Well, we're going to listen to one of your arrangements now.
Cool.
It's Coltrane, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
My arrangement of Naima by John Coltrane.
Awesome.
I'm a huge fan of his music. I just really love John Coltrane.
Awesome. Cool. Do you want to
And
say...
yeah, I could say a few words about
Sure.
the arrangement. It's just like technical stuff.
Mhm.
Is I used the sixth string as an E flat and the fifth string as a B flat because there are like 3 sections in that piece, and the first is with like the bass playing a lot of E flat. It's like the central tone of that section is E flat.
Cool.
It's not really tonal, but it's like E flat and then B flat and E flat. So using the 2 lowest strings as E flat and B flat is really useful for that. And I tried to like arrange everything from like the piano part to like his saxophone to like. So
Awesome.
You'll see the video I gave you is like is a scroll, so you get to see the actual part.
Cool. Oh, like his writing on it, or?
No, my writing, but.
Oh, you're
but
writing. Okay, but you're.
But I think you have like something like scroll.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna just like see what you hear. It's always fun.
Cool. Nice. Awesome. Score video. Okay, let's listen to some Coltrane arranged by Renaud.
right, thanks. Well, the piece is amazing. Like the original Naima from John Coltrane is just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like a
Beautiful
lot of his
harmonies.
stuff is like when you listen to John Coltrane often, it's like a lot of notes. Just like
Yeah,
really shred that saxophone and just like.
yeah.
But he was, but at this point, like sometimes you'll hear he'll come up with like one piece that's like so simple and so pure, like
Mm-hmm.
Naima, and that's those are like my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Cool. It's gorgeous. It works really well on the guitar. Ioana says cool harmonies. I agree. Yeah.
Well, that's all Coltrane.
Yes, but you arranged them nicely for the guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Jose Cueta says wonderful. Yes, I agree. Very cool.
Well, thanks,
Did you
thanks.
do you sell the arrangement anywhere?
Well, no, I don't.
Okay. You
Because
should put it on your
again,
website.
yeah, my website is like crashed
Oh yeah,
because
that's right.
because I didn't pay my
Hosting
domain
fee. Yes.
registration.
Because I looked for the what your website earlier to like look at your bio and stuff, and then I was like, it just couldn't come up, so I was like messaging you. That's funny. Sorry, I didn't mean that comment that way.
It was like,
Be a good
yeah,
entrepreneur, Renaud.
yeah. I'm gonna fix that. It's gonna be fixed very soon.
And then you'll put up your Coltrane arrangement
Yeah,
for sale.
yeah. I'll put it on there. But yeah, the production does are like are not publishing that kind of stuff because it's like copyright.
Right, yeah.
They're not touching that. They only do like original
I mean,
compositions or like probably free of rights arrangements or.
yeah, you could look, I'm sure, and find a way to get the rights and see how much it would cost, and then just sell it for the appropriate amount, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
You'd have to
There,
find out.
it's complicated. You got to get like a license to do.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, isn't it? I mean, when I recorded my CD, for example, I just paid per piece that wasn't public domain. I paid like a certain amount. It wasn't a huge amount. I don't know. Maybe it's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, but for recording, it's different. It's
Okay,
kind of
yeah,
simple.
yeah,
I've done that too. You just like pay that license and
yeah, yeah,
it's done.
yeah.
But when it comes to like editing a part, there's more. I don't know. If does thinks it's complicated.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't understand.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's fair. Jose Cueto says, very nice, surprising finding Coltrane in a classical guitar program, rare and good. And Alexander Dunn says, beautiful arrangement.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone likes it. Yeah, it's really cool arrangement. The E flat, B flat thing works super well.
Yeah, I like E flat, like a scordatura. For,
Yeah.
I have a piece called Ed Burke, which
Mm.
is which uses that low E flat, and it's got really awesome harmonies because
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah, Shadow Prism uses the E flat also. But then it also uses D flat and yeah. Anyways,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Takamitsu's also got
So-
Equinox.
yeah. It's very similar to Equinox actually, and also to that D'Angelo Dua Canzone Lidie piece that I played earlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
I should make a little program,
Yeah.
of pieces that use this scordatura like half the concert. Then I don't have to retune the whole time. Just like come,
Baba,
yeah,
the first one.
yeah. Go away for a range for the intermission and retune. Cool, nice. I usually ask the guests to give a tip about practicing. Could be a technique tip or a musical tip
Yeah.
or a thing, or you could talk about composing. But like, do you have anything to tell the audience that you found useful for yourself?
Yeah, definitely is like it's a new thing I've been trying to do is to instead of like practicing standard like left hand exercises of just like moving the fingers like that, which is good, like it's great. You learn your fingers to be very independent.
Mm-hmm.
But I've started to like learn chord inversions instead,
Okay.
and to just practice them like that so that your fingers will move in like contrary motion,
Mm-hmm.
in opposite direction, and it'll do like kind of the same goal as that, like standard. But
Mm-hmm.
you do like let's say a D7 chord, and you play in like that, then first inversion, then
Ah, cool.
so the way your fingers move is like, and you watch them move just as if you were doing those like exercises. But in the
Mm-hmm.
end, you'll know all your chord inversions.
Amazing, yeah, and it's like actually stuff you would play in a real piece as opposed to like the pumping nylon exercise, which you're never gonna play in a real piece.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, so I'm trying to like develop more of a useful uh, technique routine, like routine.
Cool.
You know?
There's this really amazing little technique exercises I heard from someone, which apparently comes from Zoran Dukic, which is like how to. It's like it just comes to mind because it's like one of these things where you're trying to emphasize a certain finger in the right hand, so you like have to put weight on one note in the chord. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
follows this really beautiful little chord progression. I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head, and has this little melodic thing in the middle uh, of it. But it's just really nice because it's an exercise which actually sounds like a piece of music,
Yeah, yeah,
and I get
yeah,
the feeling that when I do that kind of thing, I actually like I don't know it embeds itself more in my actual body. You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. And the thing with this chord inversion is, see, it's like kind of endless because you can do it with like major seventh chords and be like, uh, and those like are kind of hard to do, you know?
Yeah, and you have to think also.
Yeah, you have to like think of like where's my bass, where's the, and in the end you like know a lot more your guitar on like a
Yeah,
harmonic level, and it works your left hand just as much as like any exercise, like
yeah.
because it's kind of
You also have to. I guess the thing is, it's slightly more complex because. Oh, Ioana says you keep mentioning it, but now we want to hear it. LOL. Well, I took one of my fake nails off, Ioana, so my excuse is my A nail is not on because it was falling. It was falling off after practicing today, and I just like I don't have to play tonight. I'll show it on the stream one day. Okay, one day soon, it'll happen. I'll bring up Zoran Dukic's
exercise.
exercise. Anyhow, but like the thing I was gonna say was that with these inversions, you have to like also worry not just about the fingers now, but also the like wrist and arm position depending on the inversion, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that's slightly more complex. Maybe better to do. Well, I mean, not better, but like there's more to think about, I guess.
yeah. I guess it's a school of thought to like think if you want to like learn something harmonically while you do technical exercise, because you might want to just really focus on technique and just like concentrate on your muscles and all your, just technique. So you don't want your brain to be working on like what's that? Where's the major third after the, you know?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and probably, I mean, I guess I assume it's like other things where you might pick like one or two chords to go with per day or per week or whatever.
yeah, yeah, that's what I do. I do like a chord a day or something.
Yeah, because yeah, I try and do that too where I'm doing when you do exercises where there's like a million different permutations of the same exercise, you pick one until you feel like you've gotten what you can out of it, then you move to the next one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
same with
yeah,
scales. You can't do every kind of scale every day. You just have to
yeah.
like for a while I was doing like octatonic scales for a week. That was a fun week, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was super cool. I was like, I want to play the Hey 2 again now. you know? But it was
Yeah,
super fun. Yeah. Cool.
great.
That's a really neat tip. That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah, 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 and it's also a good idea to work on these like different scales, and you can even like do with a lot of modes. I've been practicing like Lydian, Mixolydian, all
Oh,
those.
cool. Yeah. Yeah, those Duo Canzone Lydia pieces are called that because they're Lydian. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome modes. Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to just really quickly before we like listen to one of your pieces played by the quartet?
Yeah.
What are your views on practicing? How do you view practicing? How much do you try to mix technique and music work, or what?
Yeah, I like change my way of practicing a lot,
Okay.
but mostly I do quite a lot of technique,
Mm-hmm.
and I mostly visualize my pieces.
Okay, interesting.
I don't play my pieces that much. I'll just like look at the score a lot, and then it helps me a lot with memory I often like write down stuff as I'm watching like the score. And I even have you ever tried playing your guitar pieces on the piano?
No, actually.
You should do that. It's funny how first it's funny how easy it is.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like Tedesco Sonata. It's
yeah,
like,
it's almost like insulting.
yeah.
You and then you realize how like something that you thought was like so large because of the physical distance of your fingers
Yeah.
is actually like the tiniest piano chord, you know?
Yeah.
So realizing how the intervals are not what they what they are physically for the guitar. It's
Yes.
even worse like on the guitar if you're doing like a bunch of like if like chords like that or like I don't know. They're
Yeah.
all like tiny tiny chords on the piano, you know, but we have to stretch so much to get them on the guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So playing your guitar pieces on the piano that like really changed my the way I viewed my pieces.
Yeah, and also maybe makes you like, because I mean, one of the problems with guitar playing is that, like you said, like you're saying, there's stuff that might throw a huge technical challenge in the way, but is actually musically quite simple. And the danger with that is that you play it as if it's a technical challenge.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not that you can actually make it not a technical challenge, because it's always going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's that you have to find a way to play it that it doesn't sound like one, you know? And
yeah,
I mean, that's like the whole problem with a composer like Tedesco, actually, for example, is that his
yeah.
music is supposed to sound kind of whimsical and light, and
Yes, yes.
you know, well, some pieces are quite heavy. He has some very heavy sounding pieces, but you know what I mean. It's like this sort of like illusion of, and Giuliani also too, you know, like this sort of feeling of lightness, which is actually hard to achieve when you're like working so hard.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's also like a mental thing.
Yeah,
It's a little bit in your head if you like think of like these like very complex and hard pieces to do. Like Bach, if you think of it like a lot more free, it
hmm,
becomes easier. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I'm struggling with that right now because for the exam I'm playing the Chacon and I'm also playing
Yeah,
the Grand Overture. So it's like
yeah.
my whole
Good
program
luck.
is this problem.
Yes, yes. Well, if you just meditate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think that's important. I mean, yeah. I have a random question. What do you think about writing with a pseudonym? Because I'm playing one of these pieces right now by Tilman Hopstock. Do you know about him?
Writing with what?
A pseudonym, like a fake name.
Oh,
You know? Do you know Tilman Hopstock?
yeah. Is he the guy that like published a bunch of pieces and said it was like
This, yeah, this this English composer who studied in Paris in the early 20th century, Alan Wilcox, who he invented. Yeah,
Yes, yes, exactly.
yeah. I'm playing one of his newer pieces, but that's under that pseudonym. It's like a long
Okay.
variations on Debussy,
Yeah, yeah.
but like
Okay.
it now he's kind of let the cat out of the bag. Like on the score, it says Alan Wilcox and then in parentheses Tilman Hopstock. But like
Okay.
he has another one which is like a classical era composer that he made up. So
Yeah, I think it's brilliant, but like now that it's done, like if you do it again, you like I
yeah,
think it's like a unique thing that he did, and like now everybody kind of knows about it. And if you would like copy that, you just like kind of look like a fool. I don't know.
yeah, probably. I mean, the thing is now that he has these two different pseudonyms, I kind of view it as just like a way for him to compartmentalize his output. Because
Yeah,
when he writes with, I can't remember the name of the other one. It's a German name he picks, but it's like a classical era style like composer. When he writes under
yeah,
that pseudonym, he has that style. When he writes under Alan Wilcox's pseudonym, it sounds more like,
yeah,
you know, impressionistic, quote unquote.
yeah, yeah. No, I
Um,
think it's great. It's a little bit like if you're inviting like fancy guests to your house and like you serve them like a crappy wine in a super fancy bottle and they're like,
yeah,
"Oh."
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. Like, oh, it tastes so good. And you're like,
Yeah, they're like, wow, 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 wow. So
yeah,
you're like kind of laughing at them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And when you play this music, it's funny too, because when it comes to talking to the audience, you get to decide if you deceive them or not. You know, you can let them in on the
Yeah,
joke, or you can be like, today I feel like, you know, pretending that this person is real. Um,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Ross is asking. Ross Chiasson is asking. Didn't Ponce publish some stuff under another name for a while? He published. Segovia asked him to write some pieces in the style of Alessandro Scarlatti, and then Segovia tried to pass them off as Scarlatti pieces. My friend Joel, who was on the stream a while ago, played one of these pieces, which is Scarlatti. And actually, and there's some old recordings of like TV programs and stuff. They actually just say Scarlatti. Segovia will now play some Scarlatti, and it's like actually
Wow.
Ponce. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'm kind of like, it's a little rude to Ponce, you know, to be like, write me something in the style of another composer, and let's say it's the other composer, just so it gets like more recognition. You know, it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Segovia was a nice,
True. Understatement of the century, Renaud.
yeah, especially with Ponce.
Yeah, they had their moments, right? There's all those letters you can find of, yeah. Then again, if Segovia is playing your music, you kind of like suck it up and let him be, you know, a bit. Yeah, I guess. Anyhow.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow. Okay. Let's listen to your piece that you wrote for the quartet, The Empty Houses.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes. The piece is using a lot of harmonics, and I'm the only one in the quartet. Like my part is rhythmically, like really off with the other ones. Like I used a bunch of triplets, and sometimes it's whole note triplets, sometimes it's half note triplets, sometimes it's quarter notes. It's just like, and you'll see the rhythms are very broken in that piece, and I think that's what I like the most about that piece, is that it creates this like kind of eerie sound,
like an empty house.
Yeah, like an empty house. It's a bit creepy, and it's just like
cool. Awesome. All right, let's listen to Empty Houses. This is the third movement, right?
Yes, this is the third movement.
Cool. Nice. Nice. Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. Very cool little piece.
How
many movements are there?
There are 4, and they're like kind of all these like, they're almost like individual pieces. They're very different from one to another, and I don't like necessarily quote any material. They're like very individual.
Cool.
Yeah.
What ties them together then?
They kind of represent like a house I've lived at. So each one is like kind of a memory of a house.
Okay, cool.
So it's like a different. So there's and then I guess there's this like, my style would be the thing that like kind of unites them. I use a lot of jazz harmonies, and they're a bit of a tribute to a jazz pianist that I love. Is Brad Meldau. I don't know if you know that guy, but
no.
If you don't, you should. It's just like an amazing pianist, and some of the movements really, I try to like mimic a little bit of what he's doing on the piano.
Awesome. Cool.
But we need to be 4.
Yeah, I guess with 4 guitars you can actually come close to the texture of a piano sometimes.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Beautiful. So, Renaud, here's the part of
Yes.
the show where I ask you what the future of the classical guitar is. If you can solve it for all of us, that would be really appreciated.
Eesh.
Or where do you think it's going? Or what do you want to see? You could also do that. What do you want to see more of?
Well, you know what I'd love is like for this to like just eventually we'd find like a cure, and then everything would like gradually just get back to normal, and we'd do concert in like a year or two. We'd still be like doing concerts just like we were doing. That would be like the best thing.
Okay, so you think like it was going well in the sense that you want to just get back to the normal of performing, basically.
Oh, I mean, you mean if it was going well before the COVID?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, like I guess in general, yeah. Okay, COVID is one thing, that's for sure. I mean, it would be really nice if we could get back. But like, what would you like the future of the classical guitar to be in general? And then
okay, in
where do you,
general, like
yeah, yeah,
regardless of like pandemic or no,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
future of classical guitar.
Or what would you like to
Um,
see? Would you like to see any changes? Do you think it's good how it is? Like,
I'd like to see it more in our culture, in our context. I don't know. Like I don't see any like a lot of people you tell them about classical guitar and they don't necessarily know what it is. So that's like a big problem.
yeah,
Well, not like so I'd like our instrument to be just a little more popular.
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it would be nice if it was just like culturally understood a bit more, I think.
Yeah, and I'm talking as a North American. I'm not talking as a I don't know in Europe. It might be a lot more popular than it is here.
I think it depends where you are. I mean, there's definitely some places where if you say you're a classical guitarist, people would kind of know what you're talking about, but there's still a lot of places where it's not the case. One thing I will say is that since moving here to the Netherlands, I have the feeling that the idea of being a classical musician as a profession is not so weird to people.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like they kind of get it. Although I
yeah,
will say that like classical guitar is still like a lot of people would be like, "What? What's that?" You know what I mean? I
yeah,
think there's probably more people who know what it is, but at the same time, I don't know. The Dutch culture is still fairly like North America in the sense of like the sort of media that people consume. I mean, I think in the Western world, that's the whole world is becoming globalized, right? So like the media we consume is pretty
yeah,
ubiquitous across different countries.
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely. I think it might be better than in North America though. In general, in Europe, like if you just take a generalization of like how much people know about classical music and classical guitar, but it also
I
depends
think that
on.
would yeah, but I think that would help a lot if like if the public if the people would consume more classical guitar.
Yeah,
You know,
or classical music in general. Yeah.
then it would lead to like us having more jobs and more concerts and more live streams and more.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that like people, I mean consuming music in general is, well, I don't know. A lot of people are consuming music. That's true. Um, yeah, I mean it's partly a problem too of like how many people love instrumental music. I mean, I guess that's actually increasing the number of people who like instrumental music. Like now it's very normal for like there to be rock and metal bands that are instrumental, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like
I
I've
guess.
noticed listening to because before I got into classical guitar was most of the music I was into was metal when I was younger, and like
Yeah,
and prog rock and stuff. And I've noticed a
yeah.
marked increase for sure in the last like 15 years in bands that play without singers. So
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that might help us. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably yes. If you get your ears used to like not having a singer, then you can like broaden your interest and go all the way to like classical guitar. I don't know, to guitar,
Yeah.
to any instrumental music.
I think one of the things that's hard is that I have the feeling that most people who like classical guitar music are in some sense guitarists or interested in guitar.
Yeah, that's the thing is we create this like little like bubble a little bit, which we are like totally contributing right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, every single stream, I'm like, we need to get outside the classical guitar world, and then I like have this stream about classical guitar, which is like for classical guitarists to listen to. Preaching to the choir, Mike. I guess like, but maybe this is just a feature of the genre, like to some extent. Like, I actually see the same thing. I know I keep drawing this analogy, but I see the same thing in progressive metal. Like, A lot of
Yeah.
the bands that play prog metal, like their fans are all guitarists, aspiring guitarists, because it's like nerdy guitar music. You know what I mean? It's like music where you're just
Yeah.
like shredding or writing really interesting like rhythmic stuff and doing interesting like extended techniques on the guitar and stuff. That's what we do essentially. I don't know. Maybe that's reductive. Maybe we should be thinking more
Yeah.
as like compositionally. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a bit reductive.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's a bit of an insult to all the composers who write wonderful music. That's good on its own. Um, there is a significant chunk of our audience that is guitarists. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have any clue. But yeah, if people would like learn classical guitar, yeah, or like learn an instrument uh, apart from the recorder when they're in elementary school,
Yeah. Well, you and
it'd be
Ioana are in the same wavelengths. You just said I would hope to see people realize that musical education early on in schools. Yeah, music education early on.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Um, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the classical guitar is kind of well positioned in the sense that the genre is kind of branches out a lot in the recent past. You know, like there's a lot of composers writing for guitar who take inspiration from a lot of other genres. Like your music is, you know, inspired
yeah,
somewhat
yeah,
by jazz. There's
yeah,
a lot of music we have by composers of different sort of like cultural backgrounds that use their cultural norms, like musical norms, like
yeah, yeah,
Bogdanovich, Brouwer, this kind of thing. So that helps some because at least a good chunk of our repertoire is looking outwards from just classical music right now.
yeah.
Or Roland Diens is a good example also.
Exactly. Like Roland Diaz is like probably attracting a little bit of that general public more. I knew he did before he passed. Like he did a lot of like jazz festivals that aren't classical, but he'd he'd have like a much bigger reach than we would, or than like another guitarist of his time would, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways to do that. Like I think your arrangement of the Nirvana is like or your variations on the Nirvana is a great example. Like people on YouTube who look that up will see it and be like, "What's this? What kind of guitar is this?" You know, or like
Yeah,
I don't know if you know the guys in the Ottawa Guitar Trio, but they play a lot of like
yeah, yeah.
film and video game music, and so you know that kind of thing. Like it draws people in from outside.
Yeah, that's the goal. I think that's a bit of what I'm doing, um, and it's also that like while doing so, you need to like keep a musical like integrity, or like
Yes.
an intellectual integrity.
Hmm.
You don't want to just like be playing
Playing
some like,
Justin Bieber covers or something.
yeah, yeah, or yeah, or even just like it has to be like very well done. And I spent a lot of time working on these arrangements so that
Hmm.
they bring something new or something
They show some
special.
quality
Yeah,
still. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah, it's really important, I think. But I mean, that's the same thing that like great composers like Sora and Yobetz were doing with the Folies. You know,
yeah,
the Folies was to have bring some their own musical integrity to a well-known tune, basically.
yeah. Exactly. That's still what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. Just this time it's Nirvana instead of Folies. Uh,
Well, when you think about it, it's just like it's kind of my folklore.
yeah, exactly.
Like I've been raised as like in North America, and I've consumed popular music as a child, as a kid, and just growing up was like,
Yeah.
so like if I want to pick in like what's my folklore, it's not, maybe unfortunately, but it's not like traditional Quebec music that I feel is like
Hmm.
what's the most in my ears, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like that famous Nana from the Siete Canciones Españolas by Manuel de Falla, the Nana. Dee, da,
Yeah,
dee.
yeah,
That was a song apparently that his mother sang to him when he was a little kid, like a lullaby, you know?
yeah.
So, I mean, many composers are using that, what they knew as children, in their music, right?
Yeah, yeah. Sergio Assad did it too. Well, the pieces that he played for, he like the lullabies are like really like pieces that he would put Clarice to sleep with. Like he just like
Yeah, exactly. Um, Yeah, and um, yeah, I mean, many of us come to, yeah, I mean, popular music now is people's what they know. So I think that's definitely one route to bring them into the fold. Um, yeah, and I kind of reject this idea that like using material from outside is degrading anything somehow. I don't think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
agree with you. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
But as long as you keep like an intellectual integrity with what you're doing,
yeah,
then you're not just doing it because it's popular,
yeah,
and trying to like reach a number or like a fan base, or
yeah.
you're doing it because you believe that, like, because you like doing it. I
And
don't know,
this
because
music
you
is
like
gonna
that.
yeah, and this music is gonna speak to people, and it speaks to you. I mean, I don't think I mean, I don't know. I'm not a composer, but I would imagine as a composer, it's impossible to write something cynically that you really believe in, that you don't really believe in, and have it come out really good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it would be easy to just like come up with like a bunch of arrangements of like very popular songs and just
But would they
like
be that good if you didn't really love them? If you didn't really believe in
yeah, and
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
using that music in a quality way, like you're saying, like would it? I don't think the result would be that great.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
If you're
and
just
it's a little bit why I did like lithium variations and just not like one like shredding arrangement of the song lithium. It's
yeah.
a series of variations where they like use different motives and like underline different
Mm-hmm.
harmonic shifts in the song.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a work about lithium.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool. Nice. Well, I think
yeah.
that's actually a good place to. Oh, we'll do the lightning round really quick, and then we'll listen. We'll finish up and listen to the quartet play Beethoven, because well, it is the 250th, right, of Beethoven. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but let's do the lightning round first.
Okay.
So, you ready to answer quickly?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Bogdanovich or Brouwer?
Brower.
Montreal or Paris?
Montreal. Did you say
Yeah,
Montreal or
Montreal or Paris.
Montreal? Big time.
Okay. Well, okay. Scarlatti or Bach?
Bach.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Solo or chamber?
Chamber.
Chamber. Wow, nice. Mammals or reptiles?
Mammals.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
But you're out of beer, Renaud.
I know. Well, guess why?
Because you like the beer. That's fair. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Claudio Abbado or Herbert von Karajan?
Abado.
Okay. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Liszt or Chopin?
Chopin.
Yeah, that's the composer. Cedar or spruce?
Cedar.
Free stroke or rest stroke?
Free stroke. Rest stroke.
Rest stroke. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Debussy or Ravel?
That's unfair.
I know it's unfair. Yeah, I wouldn't want to answer this one either.
Debussy.
Okay. Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
South Park or The Simpsons?
Oh, The Simpsons.
Okay. Campanella or regular scales?
Campanella.
Nice. Me too. Sour or Giuliani?
Sour.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Tremolo or scales?
Scales.
Horowitz or Rubinstein?
Rubinstein.
Rodrigo Tedesco or Ponce?
Oof. Tedesco.
Nice. Concert or masterclass? If you're giving it. If you're giving concert.
Yeah, if I'm.
Restoration. Sorry?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, restoration of the composer's intention or personal interpretation?
I'd say personal interpretation.
Okay. Bream or Segovia?
Bream.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
And carbon or nylon? The $1,000,000 question.
Oh, carbon.
Nice, me too. Ioana said, I think Tedesco did his variations sur J'ai du bon tabac as a challenge, not because he loved it. Okay, fair. But I mean, a challenge is something different. Like,
Yeah, there's also that to like try to bring something very simple to like a high level of composition.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Renaud. It's been amazing having you on.
Yeah, it was great, and thank you. Like, it's not only that you like your show is really good because like we needed this for like the COVID thing, like someone doing this to like
I appreciate
bring us all together. But it's also that like you're really good at this.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. I feel like I'm stumbling through it most of the time, but I like talking to people, so that helps, I guess.
no, you're doing a great job. So keep going.
Thanks. I will. Yeah, I'm gonna do it a little bit less after COVID's over because I have to go back to my real life also in performance stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I want to keep doing it. I don't want to stop just because COVID's gonna end. Well, I mean, we hope.
Yeah.
I hope. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm really lucky that so many people are watching it. It's really amazing having people come and be part of it, and like I meet a lot of people. Like I really just like connecting with everybody in the comments and stuff, and it's really nice having so many people be interactive. So. On that note, I have to also thank my two patrons, Mitchell Kotansky and I guess Joanna as well, and then Michelle Wolfgang Oliphant. Thank you both so much for your support. It's really means a lot. And once again, to everyone watching, you can check out the charity that we're plugging in the description, Campaign Zero.
Yes.
So, yeah, please consider giving to that. And coming up, I guess I should announce now, I have coming next show on Friday is, sorry, just pulling up my list because Friday's going to be a fun one, actually. Friday is going to be, it's the 12th, right? Yeah. Friday is going to be Steven Dentom and Filip Alelovic. So Steven is a luthier, Dutch luthier, living in Germany though, and he's going to give a bunch of demonstrations about guitar building and stuff. He'll be there to answer all your questions. And Filip Alelovic is a Croatian guitarist living in Germany who's going to also join the call remotely, who plays one of Steven's guitars. So we'll have Steven demonstrating, and then
Cool.
we'll have Filip playing one of his guitars. And Filip is a composer and guitarist.
great.
So he'll play his own works on Steven's guitar, which Steven will talk about. So it'll be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention we talked a lot about recordings, and you seem to talk a lot about it with like other guitarists and stuff. Maybe you should someday have like a recording engineer that like know his stuff and like specifically about classical guitar to give like pointers on like how to record yourself really well.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would ask Drew, but I don't want to assume that he'd give us time. But I mean, someone like that would be cool. Someone who's really, really good like him would be cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point. We're all learning to do this. So, and Mitchell says we love the show. Thanks. Thank you, Mitchell. It's wonderful. I meet all these awesome people. I hope that I can travel again to meet them all in person.
Great. Nice.
One day. So Friday is Steven and Philippe, and then on the 16th, Monday, I have Brett Gunther from Calgary. Nice. And Brett and I go way back because Calgary is where I first discovered classical guitar. And he teaches at Mount Royal Conservatory out there. He runs the Guitar Fest West Festival also.
Oh, yes, I know him. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. And he's super, super nice, super great player. So it'll be really fun to have him on. More Canadian content. Okay, well, the last recording we're going to listen to is the quartet again.
Yes.
And I guess we should actually give a shout out to the other guys in the quartet, right? There's Louis Trépanier.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's Julien Bisaillon, Louis Trépanier, and Bruno Roussel are the other guys.
Cool. I don't know Bruno, but I know. Well, I met Julien once, and then I know Louis fairly well because I've been to the Ottawa Guitar Society to play and stuff.
They're all like really good guitarists and awesome people.
Yeah. Louis is great. I like him a lot. He's a lot of fun. I should ask him. Anyhow, okay, so
Yeah, you should have him on. He'd be like really fun.
he would be super fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to talk a lot.
Nice. I like that when I can just like listen. That was like Renee's show. Renee was like he had so much to say. It was awesome. Yeah, cool. Okay, so you guys are playing Beethoven in this recording, right?
Yes, we are, and it's a recording made like here in my apartment in
Cool.
Montreal.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did all the editing myself, and you'll see it's a very fast piece. It's the Allegro from the Opus 59, number 3, the Razumovsky Quartet.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so Beethoven Quartet, and thank you, Renaud. We'll sign off here so everyone can listen to the quartet performance, and then
All right.
we'll be done for the day. So thank you again for your time. It's been awesome, and your music. It's really, really cool.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It was really fun.
Awesome.
It was really fun.
Cool. Okay, let's listen to some Beethoven.